Chicago. Joe's on Wheat Street. That's where we're playing tonight. I'll never forget the first time we ever came here, and I gotta tell you the story about it. So the first time we were in Chicago was the worst day on tour ever for me. We've had some crazy days. This was the worst. And I guess the whole thing really starts in Springfield, Illinois. It was September 5th, 2013. A day I'll never forget because that was the worst day on tour ever. My sound guy, Blake, was in a terrible mood. Something that's important to remember is this is our first national tour outside of our home state of Texas. And we're 2 days into this tour. We're all pretty tired of Blake's attitude, everybody in the band and crew, and I'm thinking it's time for me to do something about it. So, I gotta do something. I gotta do something kind of funny, you know, but still make a point at the same time. And so I'm thinking about it and I'm like, oh, I got it. Duct tape. So I go to the trailer because I know I have some duct tape in there. So I, pull it out and I get it, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be perfect. Go back to the bus, start unraveling that duct tape. I'm like, hey, Blake. So Blake looks at me and I'm trying to put on a show a little bit because the whole band is on the bus watching me. And I'm like, hey dude, if you don't chill out and get a better attitude, I'm gonna take this duct tape and hog tie you up and put you in the trailer. That's how it went. So it's understandable that Blake didn't take this news very well. So as things kind of started escalating and the whole band's watching, I pull the tape out, I start going towards him. He's mad, he jumps up on my back, and I'm kind of like putting on a show, but he's freaking mad, really mad. He gets his forearm like this and starts pulling it back on my neck. So the one thing I'm not gonna do is sit there and let him choke me out, because it'd be really embarrassing in front of the band. They're all watching me and I'm kind of feeling myself get a little bit lightheaded. And I'm like, no, don't pass out, concentrate. So I grit my teeth and I start reaching back, start pulling him over. And I'm like, all right, this escalated quickly and I have to fix the situation right now. So right about then, I pull him off of me. We both end up on the ground and we're separated from each other for a second. And I know something is really, really wrong with me. So Blake's like, are you okay, brother? And I'm kind of sitting there and I go, yeah, I have something severely wrong with my voice. I've never felt that before. It's like I put all the power into it, but once it gets to here, nothing's coming out. I decided to go ahead and sing the show in Springfield, just kind of force through it, muscle through it, which I had done before if I'm sick or something like that. And I just sang the high notes lower. It hurt a little bit, but I thought I was doing the right thing. went to bed after the show. Bad news was coming. The next morning is when I woke up on the bus in the parking lot right outside of here, Joe's on Weed Street. I immediately was thinking about my voice. I immediately was thinking, okay, let's see what happens. And I went, nothing came out. Nothing, just air. I had no voice. Miraculously, there was a ear, nose, and throat doctor in Chicago that could see me. So we went there, we saw her, they stuck a camera down my throat, and that's when we got the bad news. There was a burst blood vessel on my vocal cord. Something that I had done from the stress the night before and then try to sing through it in Springfield, that burst the blood vessel. Which, I don't know if you know, that makes you unable to make a sound. You know, so here we are. The doctor says you cannot sing at all. You can't even talk. In fact, you need to wear a sign that says, I am on vocal rest for an indefinite amount of time. What? I've got an entire tour to play. How is that going to happen? The band doesn't know how serious this is. In fact, they're all at a Chicago Cubs game, oblivious to what's happening. I haven't broken the news yet. Chris had to call the venue and tell the people that we had never played before in front of, that we are now canceling, even though we were currently parked just across the street, ready to go. That was a hard explanation, and I don't envy him for that. I ended up having to cancel 10 shows after that, made a lot of people, a lot of fans really mad that needed to get refunds for their tickets, and I was pretty new at actually attracting people to my shows, so that was really tough on me. And without a voice, I was like Superman on kryptonite, and it was the worst experience I've ever had on tour. Luckily, I'm back tonight, 6 years later, and I get to have redemption.